Welcome to Live Edge, episode number 25.
I think so.
Tonight's special guest is going to be Ben Myers from Myers Woodshop out of Searcy, Arkansas. He's very well versed in CNC, as well as some other things that we're going to discuss with him. A lot of stuff tonight. I'm very thankful to have him on. First off, we're going to do the sawdust spotlight for this week, and we've got a really cool project.
I'm Amy.
I'm Matt. We're 731 Woodworks. I forget that every time.
You hit the record this time, though, so.
Welcome to Live Edge, episode number 25. Tonight, we have Ben Myers from Myers Woodshop.
You know,
professional setup here, folks.
It's becoming a comedy for us.
Is. It's very.
So this is our sawdust spotlight.
Yep.
This is Chris Reynolds. This was his first porch swing.
Yeah,
Cannot tell that it was his first.
No, you can't.
It's beautiful.
That is awesome.
So something new we're going to do with our sawdust spotlights is once the live stream is over, we're going to post to the community that you are a sawdust spotlight winner for the week.
Awesome work.
Yeah, beautiful work. We love it.
That was good. Good job.
Yep.
Let us know where you're from. You can drop that in the comments below. And if you have any questions for Mr. Ben Myers, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. Yeah,
he's dropped those in the discussion as we go. I've got several questions I'd like to know of him, and then if you have any, he's going to try to answer those for you.
And just like always, go ahead and drop those states. And once Mr. Myers is off of our live feed and that's over, that's when we'll go ahead and call your states out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that'll give you time to get them in there.
That's right.
We need to not interrupt each other.
Yep.
That makes people mad.
It seems to rub some people the wrong way.
It's okay because that's just us.
Yep.
We have tried not to do that.
I'd like to welcome Mr. Ben Myers from Myers Woodshop. He's a fellow Arkansan. We don't have many of those on YouTube, and Mr. Myers has a YouTube channel. Mr. Myers, welcome.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay, guys, so let us know if you can't hear him or if anything happens, and we'll try to work on it. We'll try to get that fixed.
So, Mr. Myers, I'd like to know your backstory, how you got into woodworking, and YouTube as well.
Sure. How I got into woodworking is more. I think it's pretty normal for most people when you get old enough to buy a house, and you need a tool to fix something. So that's kind of how it went for me. But I also had a grandfather who was big into woodworking. I'm from Pennsylvania originally, and he had I'm from the big city in Pennsylvania where my backyard was literally a cement alley. So all the houses were connected. So his workshop was in the basement. And I remember as a kid always going to their house and going down and seeing what he's making. And I thought that was always fascinating. And I think the Myers bloodline also has a work with your hands kind of deal. So it kind of ran in the blood there, and then bought the house, started getting the tools, started making stuff. And then, somebody sees what you make and they like what you make, or typically I think for men, you make something for your wife and your wife shows it to her friends and their friends want something. So you kind of expand on that, and that's how it started.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
So
YouTube, I think sorry.
What was your first project that you made? Do you remember?
The first thing I kind of remember making was a book rack for our son. He was just born, and kind of just on the wall where the books can stand so you can see them. Mm-hmm. It's not like sideways so the face is out. My wife saw something probably on Pinterest or something and said, "Can you make this?" And I gave it a shot. So that's what I remember. That was many years ago.
So you started more like home projects, things like that. How long did it take you before you started selling things? Do you remember?
I don't think it was that long, but I think it was just like a random thing that happened, and you make $20. I mean, I may have put 6 hours into something and I made $20, and it was the light of my life, because it was like, wow, this is $20. That's amazing. Back in the old days when you started, when you're like $20 for 6 hours was amazing. And then you fast forward 5-6 years and you're like, no way would I touch that.
Exactly.
But that's how life goes.
And
but
I've said that a lot.
But in some ways I envy that a whole lot, because the joy was worth a lot more then.
Mm-hmm.
than later on after you get more experience.
I've said that a lot too. When like starting out, I took jobs not just for the money, but just because I wanted the experience of building that project. It didn't matter. Like I would tell them a price, knowing that I was going to break even or maybe even lose a little bit of money. But I would
Sure.
also get the experience of making that. So now that's kind of in my portfolio. I know how to build it. Kind of work the kinks
Yeah.
on theirs.
Right. I don't think that sentiment loses out on me now still, because I'll still, if it's something I haven't done, the money isn't really making a difference once in a while, I'll get to try this out. And that also makes you feel better, like, I screwed it up and it's not as great as it can be. Well, it's okay. You didn't really pay for it. So I was like, right. I'll learn the next time and I'll charge what it's worth.
Right. So I see that you have a lot of CNC items, and I just recently got a CNC and it's really kicking my tail. How did you get started in CNC, and what drew your interest to that?
I am a tech nerd all my life. Love tech, video games, computers, huge tech nerd, more than woodworking or anything like that. And I think maybe the other part of what got you into woodworking is a tool is an adult toy. And I totally do it the wrong way, where I buy tools and then figure out what can I use this for because the tool is cool. Nobody tells you to do it. Everybody tells you that's terrible. That's not how I did it, and I'm okay with that because I love to figure out how tools work. And a CNC is the marriage of those two together, which is woodworking and technology together. So it was super natural for me to want one. I had never seen one before I got one in person. Never. I had no clue what I was doing. I got an X-Carve, but that was after a year of just saying to my wife, I really want this, I really want this, I really want this. And it was finally, do what you want. So I did. And it showed up. Yeah. And it showed up, and then it was kind of on from there. It was just, this is awesome, and kept going.
So do you have CNC resources available to those who are looking to get into CNC?
Yeah, I have a ton. On my own YouTube channel, I've done a lot of beginner CNC stuff. There's probably 50 videos or so for beginner CNCs. And my website has a lot of content on there, a lot of blog posts about it. And then I think the thing I'm most known for in the CNC community would be the wasteboard that I've created for the hobby CNCs. And that's on my Etsy channel, or Etsy shop. And then a lot of the videos show you how to make that, what it does, and have breakdown what to do. I put myself into the category of, like, when I first started out, there's a whole lot of really advanced people telling you all these super amazing advanced things that I didn't even understand the terminology. I said, once I got to past the beginner stage, I thought, I want to fill that gap. I enjoy filling that gap of, this is what this does. And It's the most simple thing, but when you don't know, you don't know.
That's right.
So that's kind of where I filled in. Once I found that niche in the YouTube channel, that's kind of where I aimed it at. But
Sam Hoskins says that he likes your way of thinking.
Oh, well, thank you.
He agrees. He says he just has to have his honey let him do it too.
So I've linked down below in the description your YouTube channel and your website, and I'll put your Etsy store in there after the show.
Sure.
I've actually bought a couple of files from you, or I've got them in my cart, and I got a Shapeco 4, and I'm keeping score, and so far it's like Shapeco 6 and me 1, and so
yeah, he's not kidding.
Yeah. I broke a.
That's okay. That's okay. The best way to learn is to destroy wood. That's right. That's the best way to learn.
That's right.
You're 100% gonna get angry and frustrated, and then something will eventually start to click.
Guilty as charged.
And then yeah.
I was making a box the other day. I bought a file for a box on, or I found it on Shapeco's forums or something. And so I was making it, and everything was going great, and the top got cut out, It wasn't all the way out, but it had cut basically the bolt, everything but the tabs, and it was cutting the bottom out. And I was doing something else in the shop, letting it run, and I heard pow. I looked back and it come unclamped because I didn't clamp it down good enough. And when it did, of course, it broke the bit, and it was just, I was like, oh, not again.
Yeah.
Text me. He said, I just learned a $30 lesson.
A $30, yes. And my suggestion is buy $9 bit sets from Amazon first. Break them all, and then get the expensive one.
Yeah, I should have done that.
Yeah,
Very good idea there.
I bought a really nice set, Astra-coated set from Bits and Bits, and it was like $300 and something for the whole set. Of course, I got like 6 or 8 bits, and maybe more than that. And one of them is no longer with us. So
I'll tell you this though: 99% of the time when I break a bit, it's not during cutting; it's during some other stupid movement. Where like, I left something on the table and I clicked home and it just went and ran right over it. And I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. That's the worst when you're not even cutting anything and you break it. But it happened.
That hurts.
He did make me a really pretty little, it's a round.
Like a soap dish?
Sort of like a soap dish.
Dish.
That I can sit my my spray bottle, my hand soap, and my dish soap all in the little decorative ones. So
it's made out of
the leopard wood.
Have you ever heard of Working the Grain Hardwoods out of Bentonville, Arkansas?
I don't think I have.
So his website's like wtghardwoods.com. Awesome guy. So anyway, he sent me several pieces of exotics, and she likes leopard wood, and that's what it was made out of. So I just found a plan online and told the CNC to do it. It listened to what I told it to.
Yeah, well, that's all it'll do.
Well, sometimes I claim that it's not listening. So.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
How did you get started on YouTube?
So, your Wahuda joiner? Wahuda? How did you get that?
Brother Riv gifted that to me. He's probably on the show tonight.
Is it who is that? Brother Riv?
Brother Riv. He's a friend of mine.
Okay.
Actually, he was watching my videos and he said God led him to send me that thing. He sent me a message on Instagram and says, "Hey, God wants me to give you this jointer," and I was like, I can't accept that. And I don't remember the exact conversation, but it was like, you're not going to steal my joy. You're getting this.
Yes.
So,
I'm a firm believer in letting people help you because a lot of people don't want help.
Right.
And I'm like, part of the joy of the help is being able to give the help.
Yeah.
We're all Christian people. This is kind of what is amazing, part of a God story a little bit. For this whole situation, and I thought it was ironic that you have their joiner, but I wanted to get a joiner. I hadn't had any YouTube videos at all yet, and I was working out of like a 6x10 shed. I didn't have any room. The desktop is the only way to go.
Right.
I didn't really know what a joiner was either because I never really saw one in person. So I wanted to get one. My Instagram was super tiny, but I felt like it was big at the time, but maybe 1,000 subscribers or something. And I reached out to Cut Tech, and it was I kept seeing them out there, but I didn't see any information whatsoever about them. And I reached out to them, and after a while of just hounding them, I'll say that unashamedly, way back in the day, they actually responded back to me and gave me a phone, or I found a phone number. They responded back to me. They gave me a phone number. I called it and I talked to a gentleman. Very long story short, they're out of Memphis, which is only 2 hours from me. 4 hours for you or so. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm in Searcy because of a Christian college. I went to Harding University. That's what's in Searcy. That's what brought me from Pennsylvania to Arkansas. Awesome. Everybody asked, that is a weird trip. I met my wife. Her parents teach here. She went here. I stayed. I like the country life. But a lot of my family from back home also went to Harding, and they're Church of Christ. And turns out this man who I was talking to was the owner, and he is a Church of Christ guy. And he said, "You're in Searcy." I said, "Yes." He said, "So you went to Harding?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "So did I." So we both went to the same college.
That's
And then
awesome.
he told me about his wife. She worked at the church. She was a secretary. And I said, what church? Turned out my cousin goes to his church.
Oh, wow.
So it was a weird connection there. And he sent me the joiner, and I said, I would love to film this and be my first YouTube channel. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a GoPro back before they had screens. So I didn't know if it was aiming at me or I didn't know anything. And we filmed the unboxing, but I turned it off during the unboxing and turned it on in between the parts where I wasn't filming. And then that was my first YouTube. You can see it. It's terrible. My first one, but that's what started. And then, I put it out there and it got 10 views. I was like, holy cow, people are watching my something at all. So I just kind of did it. There was no aspirations to be a big YouTuber or quit my job, make money from it. None of that. It was just, wow, I've produced something of value. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Let's do it again. Let's unbox something again. So
mine's very similar. And
by the way, I'm sorry. By the way, Cut Tech actually is Wahuda.
Right.
He changed the name of it and became Wahuda. So that's if other people didn't know that out there.
Yeah, I talked to him. He saw the video and emailed me and wanted to talk to me. So he called, same guy that you're talking to.
Yeah.
And, just a good guy. He was partners with somebody in Cut Tech. That didn't work out. So he basically rebranded. Yes. And so everything's very similar, but same guy that knows.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. Yeah. Just
his story with YouTube is similar to yours in that you feel like your first one was.
Oh, it's terrible. It's awful.
But that's how you start, and that's what we've told our viewers.
Yeah, you just got to hit that record button and let it happen.
We do have a question from a viewer. JC says, what do you find that is selling the best nowadays when it comes to your CNC work?
Well, I really don't do any CNC work for people anymore. I used to, and I guess that this goes back to me. I'm in a small town, and locally when I first started out, I made stuff for my wife. She showed it off, and some people wanted things, and then I made more of something I saw on YouTube or something I thought about, and made a whole bunch of stuff. And then I was like, well, what do I do with all this? And then you try to sell it to. I've been to some local craft fairs around town.
It's hard.
But oh my goodness, it's so hard to sell when you're in a tiny town, not in a big city, I think. And I could not make a living doing it. I applaud everyone in your chat who is doing this for a living because I cannot. I could not do it. So once it kind of cut to where I saw YouTube was a something, everything got focused there, and I really don't sell much of anything CNC wise at all. I was selling a lot of signs that were state cutouts. That sold a lot. But now it's digital files for me because I'm helping the people are watching me, not for my product. They're watching me to learn how they to use the machine they bought to work. So that like the wasteboard and the clamps and stuff, that's where I make money doing, selling things. So that's not going to be a great answer for that listener who wants to buy a machine and sell it, but that's my situation.
And he said, thank you for answering his question and God bless. So I think he was happy with it.
Awesome.
Well,
great.
So are you a full-time or you still have a full-time job?
No, I'm an exterminator full-time.
Okay.
Yeah. This was a part-time. It happened to make fun money to fund more of the things in here.
I think a lot of people who do woodworking are doing it to fund to buy more tools. I've done that for a very long time.
So I was reading. What did he say?
That he does exterminating full time.
Okay. Well, you've got another question from another viewer. 203 Designs wants to know if you still have the very first thing you made. So if you made it for your wife, maybe you do. Not sure.
No. No, I don't have that bookshelf. No, but I have the first. I say like I was gifted a lathe, my great grandfather's lathe. And I started turning out of nowhere, and I turned a little bowl for my wife's rings by the sink when she's washing her hands and stuff, and she still uses that. Nice. So that's one of the first things that we still use. But yeah, I don't have the bookshelf anymore. I don't have a clue where that went. So
the very first woodworking project he sold, but his first CNC project actually is with one of our viewers.
Yep, we met him for breakfast actually in Nashville this weekend.
Yeah.
So I gave him to
cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah.
Michael Lashane wants to know, would you recommend getting a desktop I think he's saying CNC until he has the space and money for a larger one?
So maybe like a Nomad or something similar.
Yeah, or the Chinese 3031, I think. It's a very, very tiny one. Man, that's hard. I don't think so, in my opinion. I've gone the other way because I started out with an X carb, which is not, I mean, still in the world of CNCs, it's a tiny hobby CNC.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was sent a little teeny desktop CNC, and it was so infuriating that I used it once and I gave it away, and I will never touch one again.
Wow.
So I would suggest saving your money and spending $1,500 or so on. Well, me personally, I have a Onefinity now, so I would say a Onefinity Machinist, a small one, or a Shapeoko, something in that range. X-Carve, Shapeoko, Onefinity, Millwright, I guess are that's the range of the $2,000 range. I mean, but it all has to do with your budget. I mean, if $200 is what you can do and you've never done it, do it. But I'm giving my experience. I started with an X-Carve, a decent sized X-Carve, and I went backwards, and it was no, it's not the same experience.
That's what we've tried to tell the viewers before. Don't go ahead and spend money on something that you don't think is going to fit your needs or work for very long. Wait, save up your money and get what you really want.
Right. A lot of the message in CNC world is buy your second machine first.
Right.
So, and I agree with that. But so far, the hobby CNC machines have done everything I've required it to do. It's the only thing that I haven't got is a 4x8 sheet of plywood on a machine. So yeah, go huge, but also you need a big space to do that. And I haven't had that until 10 years later. So,
now that we're talking about the shop, don't you have a question about it?
Yep. Yeah, I see. I follow you on Instagram and YouTube both, and I saw that you got a new shop, and I've been following that process along.
Yes.
Tell us what shop you started in. I think you already briefly mentioned that, and then how you progressed to this, and what you plan on doing with this new shop.
Yeah. You're seeing more than I've really shown off behind me so far, and I'm super late in the. I'm dragging my feet in the shop process videos series that I'm putting out right now, because I kind of went from what the old man had it in here to what I have now behind me. So I meant to do that every week, and I don't know how you guys do it every week. It's crazy. I can do maybe once a month. It's very hard. But yeah, I started out, well, there was a dilapidated old shed on my old house, and it was just storage for everything outdoors. And once I started collecting tools, I needed something specific for that, because you can't work in a shop that has all your yard equipment in it too. There's no space. So I built a 10 by 16 barn style shed. And that's where it really started, to where it was, where I would say Myers Woodshop kind of was birthed. And then I broke down one side of the wall and added another, it went to 20 by 16. And it was kind of a lean-to style off that end. And then that's when I was able to actually get a CNC and fit it in there, because they take up a lot of size. And then packing that place full of all kinds of things. And if I was not the most organized person on the planet, I wouldn't be able to fit in there. And so one day I got Snapmaker sent me a 3D printer. It's like this. It's a big 3D printer, but it also does CNC and lasering. And I rearranged and couldn't fit it anymore. And finally, I went into the house and said, "Find me a new house. I'm ready," because my wife was ready to move. So
that's awesome.
That's how we ended up moving here. And this place, I'm in a 1,500 square foot, its own building. It's
1,500.
30 by 50.
That's a lot of room. That's a lot of room.
Out here. Going from a 16 by 20 to a 30 by 50 is insane. And and now I can do projects without having to get poked by tools or move tools to get to other tools. I was not using tools because it took me 30 minutes to get them out to use them. Like my chop saw was on a flip tape cart. It took me 30 minutes to get that out. I was coming up with some weird ways to cut wood because I was like, no, this will take me 2 seconds if I do it really sketchy on the table saw.
Yeah.
Which I don't recommend, but man, size. But you will fill up whatever size you have because I'm already full and I'm already needing a bigger one.
Filling up our whole house.
Yeah,
Yes.
I took over the garage, and of course that's the workshop now. And then now we got this bedroom is now the studio, and I don't know what else is next. Maybe another kitchen comes out. I'll take that as storage.
Whatever
size you have, you're gonna fill. I promise you that.
That's right.
So if somebody's interested in getting started with CNC, so some people finance them, and some people buy them outright. And so, do you think that? So my idea for the video series is what I reached out to several companies. Carbide 3D was the one that sent me the Shapeoko 4 to see if I could actually prove my theory. Is you can take the CNC and learn it with a little effort, and then actually make projects that actually sell, and you could actually pay for the machine plus some. Do you believe that's true?
But maybe not in his area. Yeah,
but just anywhere like Etsy or in this.
Etsy changes the game for the area. I made it. It made a difference once it got to Etsy, and Etsy's tricky though because things are big and things break in the mail. That's where I was cutting out those tape signs and I was sending them all over the country, the globe, it was states, so it was all over the United States. But things break. That's a bummer. You lose money on that. But I would say, here's what I would suggest is no matter what CNC you're going to look at buying, or let's say laser or 3D printer, because I'm big into those two. And I think this principle goes for all of those, is that the software to run them, you can generally get for free, and you can't make your machine do something that the software didn't tell it to do. The number one thing is making use of that software. The machine is the easy part. The software is the hard part.
Very much so.
So download the software. Software alone can be a college course or 2 or 3.
Right.
So download the software and get good at that software, and then get your CNC, and then you'll be ready to start cutting. And you can generally see, peruse Etsy and see what's selling, what's the best sellers.
Right.
Some stuff is easy. Flags are huge. Everybody does flags. And that's my suggestion on either one of those machines, CNC laser or 3D printer. Check out the software first. Generally, you can get some good stuff for free, software wise, and then go from there. Doesn't really help you with selling so much, but I'm not really a seller. I'm kind of out of that game,
that's kind of our thing.
Yeah, and so like Etsy for us was a very slow starter. And I found something that was selling, which was my stove covers, or it was her design. And I sold, I just put one up there, it sold. And then I made another one and put up there. And then somebody asked me if I could make one in a different color. And so I did. And I put pictures of it on there. And then as time went on, people wanted different colors, stained or painted. And I just kept adding to that. And before long, I had 15 or 20 different options people could buy from. And those things took off, and I was working my tail off trying to keep up with the orders. And then, so that's what I always tell people. You got to find something that sells, because if you just search cutting boards, you're going to find like 12,000 or 15,000.
Everyone has a cutting board. Fun fact, I've never made a cutting board. I never will.
I haven't either. and so if you're not able to find something that's unique, it's going to be very difficult to get on that homepage without paying for an ad.
Absolutely. What I'm thinking right now, the prime example I have of somebody I follow and I'm friends with is Two Moose Design. They make dog trays, catch-all trays with their CNC, and it is everywhere. Everyone is making it. Everyone is buying their file. It just caught on like wildfire, and I'm seeing that like, man, how did I make that? But I don't have a dog, so I wasn't thinking about it. But you'll find that you will find something that will hit. It seemed to be that case, and sometimes that thing sucks to make. The big thing that started for me was a color pencil bowl. I epoxied all the color pencils together. I turned it on a lathe and it's a colored pencil bowl. And that was my first kind of thing, my first kind of viral stuff that was going out.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And I hate making them. They
They're
were
beautiful.
not fun. I do not like the lathe. I was covered in epoxy. I don't like wearing a mask, so I probably have epoxy lung. And I hate making them. But that was one thing that when I went to the fairs locally, I'd set them out on the table, and everyone would come over and be like, "I saw this on Facebook. This is awesome." But I charged $150, and no one bought it.
Right.
No one. And then I put it on Etsy, and I was shipping around the world. I couldn't keep them in stock enough. But it's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we have a question from RH Harley Guy. We love RH Harley Guy. He says, question for Mr. Myers. Well, first, welcome to our community led by the Pocket Hole King. Then he asked, how do you feel about pocket holes?
Somebody always asks that.
Somebody always asks. He's got a second question, too, that may or may not make sense to you, but we'll let you go with the pocket hole question.
I have no problem with pocket holes. Man, if you can make it, make it. Whatever's easy and quick,
yeah,
do it.
So, yeah. We'll just have to sidestep that. He's reminding me of the time. I don't know if you've ever really watched any of our stuff or if you've heard it, but there's a green door movement with the 731.
I am unaware of this.
Okay, good. He wants to know, how do you feel about the color green for a door? Every guest gets asked this question by one of our members.
That would not be the choice of color for me.
See?
Both of my shops have had a blue door. My last one I painted blue. This one I painted blue. And our house, we just painted both black.
So ready to get rid of that green door.
You have a green.
Larry,
it's
Mr. Larry,
my side.
Mr. Larry Broom wants to know what software you use for your CNCs.
Vectric Aspire.
Vector.
That's what I use.
Mason.
A lot of my channel shows Carbide Create because that's free. Vectric Aspire is as much as a CNC. It's $2,000, but it's way more powerful. So that's me, but I'm teaching other people how to use it. So, Carbide Create is a great program to start with that is free.
So you was talking about hating to make those bowls. Have you ever had moments you felt like giving up the woodworking business? And if so, what'd you do to get through those times?
I wouldn't say give up the woodworking business because it's not so much a business for me. I mean, it's a nice side hobby. I guess the closest thing I can think of right now is moving. I always felt the urge to post on Instagram or keep the social media up every day. I felt like the content wasn't, if I couldn't keep up. How does everybody else have so much content? I'm struggling to find content and stuff like that. And it was definitely a Joneses looking at other people's like, man, I've got to put out more. I've got to put out more. We moved and I have had no time. The time did not exist because the house, we stripped the house, started all over. The whole shop has started all over. And I have not posted regularly at all. And I felt really guilty to myself, which is weird. Why does it matter? But like I could go a week now and not give it a second thought. And it is so liberating.
That's good.
It's so awesome. So it's not a quit. I've kind of found the joy back in me. Like I've done a ton of stuff in the shop that I should have filmed and made a YouTube video. And I am so glad I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Because it was so enjoyable by myself to just whip this thing out and get it done. And it's hung. And you'll see it in the end video. Like, hey, I made this thing. But you didn't see me make it. And I enjoyed doing it now. Like the joy, YouTube sucks the joy away. And it's finding that, center of being, okay, this is going to take me longer, but okay, I really enjoy making this or showing this off. But it's not my job. So I'm fortunate that it's not my job, so I can step back.
Yeah.
You, as far as I understand, it's your job, right?
It is now, as of 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. So it's like, you got to post. You got to post at your job.
Well,
and that scares me to death.
We were doing 2 videos a week up until 3 weeks ago or so. And I noticed
it was hard.
I noticed that I noticed that our views were down, and I think it was just because it was too much for the channel, and also it was very difficult to get out 2 a week. Very difficult.
It was.
And so I done 1 a week, and then everything kind of started trending back up. And I thought, well, we're going to try this for a while, and it makes it our life easier.
Yeah,
because
well,
we're doing the live show
more into that,
and I can put more effort into one video.
Right.
And so that's what we're trying to do now. But
it's turned into more about quality than quantity.
Right. I'm trying to make it better. And I don't worry about Instagram as much. I'll post on there sometimes. I do stories on there, but I'm not concerned with Instagram.
It was the same thing that you were saying. You know, he felt more guilty himself, you know, for not trying. And I finally told him one day, because he was killing himself answering everybody's messages. And I finally told him one day, I said, baby, it's okay not to get to everything every day. You've got to have time for your mind to rest. And when he started actually doing that, it's like you said, it was a world of relief.
The thing that crushed me was when my son came to me and said, can you get off the computer and come spend time with me?
Oh.
Yeah, that'll get you.
I would not be that dad. Are you telling me I'm that dad? I did not know I was that dad, and that crushed me. And I was like, nope, this is, I am doing something wrong, and I've got to change it. This is not worth it.
Bless it.
You know, but I am the same way. I want to try to answer everybody and answer every comment, because I totally feel what I give out as I get back. Absolutely. So I want to do that. I want to do that. And I am a checklist kind of guy. The email, when the email is a checklist. I love a clean inbox kind of deal. Saying, inbox for the Instagram and comments and stuff. So it's like there is pressure from me on me.
Yeah.
And man, I don't know why, but you're very lucky yourself.
Yeah.
When we got to 130,
that helps you.
When we got to 130,000 subscribers, that's when I stopped answering every message that was commented. Even if it was good video, I'd say thank you or something, because I was spending multiple hours a day answering questions. And while I appreciate them commenting, it was just unfeasible for me to keep up with that. And it was just so much.
I can't even fathom. That would be insane. I can't. Yeah.
It was to the point to where he was still working at the time, law enforcement. He would be gone, and I would not hear from him. Normally, we check in with each other, throughout the night. Working.
Yeah.
It was to the point to where he was telling viewers and stuff what he was doing at night instead of me. I was like, you're not even having a conversation with me anymore. He felt such a need to talk to everybody so much that it was sort of like your son coming to you. I had to go to him and say, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
It can be too
much. It was a wake-up call.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It really
so
was.
I'm not going to take too much of your time. I appreciate you joining us. I would like, if you can, to close. We're openly Christian here. We believe God is blessing what we're doing. I know
100% I am.
Well, and I would like to hear from you what God has done for you or your business or woodworking or personal life or anything you want to share with that.
Oh man, well, God has done everything. Without him, there is no hope. I'll tell you that.
That's
so, some of the things, I mean, looking back on my life, I can see where his hand was clearly in my life. I actually, when I graduated from college, I mean, obviously I went to a Christian college, so that led me to, I did a whole lot of different stuff. I didn't know what I got a general studies degree because I never could decide on what I wanted to do. And then I ended up getting an MBA because that was basically the MBA, the Masters of General Studies, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I coached lacrosse. I got some free credits, so I went and got an MBA.
That's awesome.
But I did a whole lot of different jobs. It didn't prepare me for anything specific, so I did a whole lot of different jobs. And then I worked at a Bible bookstore here in town and became the manager. I was there for 4 years. I thought life was set there. And we were about to have our first child. We were in that stage where we didn't tell anybody that you were pregnant yet, because you want to make sure it's there. And that morning I was dragging the stuff outside it was summer, or spring, summer, taking the tables outside to have a little sidewalk sale, and the building burnt to the ground.
Oh, wow.
If I was using the bathroom, I would have been toast.
Oh my goodness.
And it was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. But I stood on the business next to where we were, and watch with my boss the business burn to the ground and think, my wife's in college, she's pregnant, I'm the only income. I thought life was set. I thought I had a plan. God, we had it all worked out, and it burned to the ground. And here I am spreading your word literally through Bibles.
Yeah.
But the business next to us was where I work now, the extermination. Didn't even realize that was there. I drove by it for 4 years, have no clue. Their owner came out, talked to me. We're just talking about life. He said, come inside. We talked. I had the best interview of a job I've ever had, not knowing I had a job interview. Didn't expect to be exterminator in my life. That wasn't something I aspired to be. But it ended up working out unbelievably well. You set your own schedule. I got paid way more. I have yet to miss a thing that my child has done.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Kind of contradicts what I said earlier where, Dad, you're busy. Right. I am here, but I never missed anything.
Right.
But yeah, so much more time. And I mean, that was a very clear hand of God thing in my life, to where you have your plans and God knows better than what you know, what you plan. But yeah, oh man, that's just one example of the million. If any of your listeners want to listen to anything, want to talk about that, I will always openly talk about that in any way they want to communicate with me, for sure.
That's awesome.
And I've got all your that is really cool. I've got all your stuff linked in the description below if anybody wants to check your channel out or your Instagram, and I'll put your Etsy store in there too after the show. But man, I really appreciate you taking the time and joining us tonight.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great meeting you guys. It's so awesome that it's an Arkansas thing.
That's right.
And I'm really trying to get the Arkansas makers together. Now that I have a shop that's big enough to host, there are more of us out there than you would know. And I want to have some meet up here.
Yeah, we have some on the chat tonight. Go back through the chat. I'm sure I missed a ton of questions. If you want to go back through them and look, but we have several people from Arkansas that join us usually every week. So yeah, there's
awesome.
They're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're in Arkansas and you're nearby me in any way, please send me a message. Let me know you exist. I would love to meet up with.
And Brother
we're very rare down here, but it's I'd love to meet up with other ones.
Brother Rib sent a message and he says that kids spell love as Time. So I think that was in response to your story about your son coming to you.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's 100% true. He's right. And it's such a good reminder to have. And please, everybody, if you're listening, don't let your kids say it to you, because it will break your heart.
We've got Brenda Beeson on here from Arkansas also. So she might be one that you could look into. I know she's
awesome.
Here. Thanks again for joining us,
Thank
guys.
Yes.
Make sure you check out the links to get to his videos and everything. All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
God bless.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to do a call out of our states while you get everything situated. We've already done our sawdust spotlight. If those of you that joined us late, we'll go ahead and put that back on there in just a moment. Let's do our state call outs. We've got Illinois, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Minnesota, Canada, Maine, Florida, Australia, Colorado, Michigan, New York, California, Alabama, Connecticut, Maryland, Virginia, Georgia, Vermont, Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas, Iowa, Ohio, Louisiana, South Carolina, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Indiana, Arizona, Kansas, and of course, Mississippi. Go ahead and put our sawdust spotlight back on again. Those of you that come in a little late, our sawdust spotlight this week was for Chris Reynolds. He did his very first porch swing.
And it turned out phenomenal.
It's beautiful. And so when I saw that, I was and Mo was a little upset because she did pick out a different sawdust spotlight for the week, but I'd already chosen this.
Ain't nothing like sitting in the porch swing.
See, that's why when I saw it, I was like, man, it reminded me of growing up.
I grew up. I had one
on our front
whole
porch.
Time I grew up.
It was awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and answer a question that had come through. I told him that we would get to it in just a moment. So Pokey on Twos MC Life. I don't know what that name is, but I love it. says, do you know where he could purchase a 36725 T2 Delta table saw? I told you I'd get
Lowe's
back
had
to you.
so somebody shared with me on Instagram, and I shared that story on my stories, that they found one locally and that Lowe's had several in stock all over the country. So check your local Lowe's, or even if you have to drive for some, they are few and far between when they come in stock. So if you can find one, you better get it, because they go pretty quick. Pavement to dirt, Josh. Ain't seen you in a while, man.
Okay, so Paul's on there. He said that he's using the little tray you made him, the dresser caddy, and he loves it. What?
We got to do a mail call.
Oh, I've got that on here.
Okay.
I was just saying that first.
All right.
So we've got some mail calls that we're going to do.
Yep.
This. Go ahead and do that, and I'll get the other stuff
Jacob
together.
Luna sent this Texas Trooper license plate. So that'll go in the shop right beside the main one. That's awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yep, that was pretty cool.
Yep.
So something really cool happened for us this weekend.
Very cool.
We drove to Nashville, Tennessee for a little mini vacation, just the two of us. And we actually got to meet one of you, Paul Mood, who's on here with us week after week. And it was so cool.
Very cool.
Like, we walked away from that and we kept saying, man, he's a good guy. That was just, it was so much fun for us to get to meet somebody that we talked to through this chat. But he had some gifts for us. We've got them behind us here. So he gave us some shirts.
Metro Police, Nashville.
Yep.
T-shirt.
We love those. I'll let you hold it.
Also, he brought us a coffee cup with the Metro Nashville Police Department CSI unit on each side. We got 2 of those. Patches for each of us. Very cool.
Well, you kind of steal all that stuff, so I wouldn't know.
And a couple of challenge coins also for my collection. So thank you, Paul, for that.
Yeah, and a couple of little things in there.
Yep.
It was super cool, but he also bought us breakfast.
Bought our breakfast.
Which he didn't have to do, but that was really nice of him, and we got to eat some good food and sit and have good conversation. And we thought that was really, really cool.
It was awesome. And my brother Bryson Schultz wants to know, how was the concert?
Okay, so, hey, Bryson. So, we went to the K-Love Fan Awards. We didn't do the full experience. We just did the main thing.
Yep.
Next year, we plan on doing the full experience. But it was 4 hours of solid worship.
It was awesome.
That was not just talking about God. It was opening with prayer and then prayer in between and Bible verses between every performance, and
or before they
performances
announce the winners of the contest or the
and performances by everybody you could imagine. You know, you had Crowder and Zach Williams and Mercy Me and Toby Mac and
so many.
Oh my
so many.
gosh!
We the Kingdom,
all of
your new
We
favorite.
the Kingdom. I loved We the Kingdom, but it opened with "Good God Almighty" by Crowder. And if you guys have never heard that song, I suggest you go listen to it really loud and just feel it within yourself.
It was a really cool experience. We got there early, and of course they had a red carpet where you could see everybody walking by and things. We got in there, sat down, and I was thinking, this is a TV show. It's going to be an award show. It's going to be on TBN Friday, June 4th at like 8 or 9 Central. You check your local listings. And but we plan on rewatching it. But we was in the balcony, so we was right above the stage. We could see everything, and it was just like we
didn't think it would be full songs.
No, in my mind's eye, I was like, they're going to play snippets of songs, and it's going to be a TV show where they're going to like tell you to be quiet or tell you to applause. No, it was awesome.
It was earth-shattering worship. Like you could feel the spirit within that. You've got almost 4,000 people.
Yeah, it was probably at least 3,500 people.
And so "Good God Almighty" has been my favorite song for a few weeks now. Like I listen to it probably 20 times a day, no lie. And so whenever they were introducing the very first performance, he looked at me and he said, "You're fixing to get your song." And I'd already told him before the concert, I said, if Crowder sings "Good God Almighty," what did I say?
You said, "I'm going to lose my crap."
I lost my crap. Because I had tears. It opened up, and y'all, even after he finished his performance, he was on the front row. In every performance that was done after that, he was up dancing, and it was just...
Yeah, Coach CJ said he hung out with David Crowder in the 90s
in
or in the
early
2000s. And he and his wife are awesome people. That guy, man, he's got a new fan in me because he was dressed in all like a white suit jacket, white pants, white shirt, white hat.
Hair all pulled back.
And I couldn't, like, we were a good ways away from him, but I could see him. He's
mentioning his clothes so you understand how well he could point him out and see.
Yeah, he was bright. You could see him. And this guy, man, he was cheering on everybody that won. He was nominated for multiple things, didn't win any of them. But when the other person won, he was like hugging them and like really, you could tell he was really happy for them. Mm-hmm. Sold me. He was up dancing at every song. Like, I like that dude.
Man, and his favorite one that's out right now is "Say I Won't." And as a matter of fact, I told him, I said that needs to be the topic of the show, because all of you guys are so supportive, and y'all share so much love and support and kindness to us. But what you don't see is all of the hate that he receives. He receives hate every day. And not just mild hate. He receives hate. He receives more hate as an outwardly spoken Christian than he did as an officer. People feel the need to email him and say, this isn't what you should be doing, all this stuff. And so when I heard that song, all I could think about was him, because even when the noise of all of that hate is trying to drive the music out, he's still gonna be dancing, and that's what it says in that song. And so I told him, I said, you need to answer those people and just say I won't, because God's got this. Yep. So anyway, that concert was amazing.
It was awesome. If you ever had the chance to go to something like that, by all means go for it. It's awesome. Jess, I don't know how to say your name. Sorry. Says you have cutting more business. Haven't sold any. Any tips for Etsy? I have an Etsy video. You can go watch that. That will get you started on Etsy. The main thing is you're going to have to wind up spending money to make money on Etsy. Basically, you're going to have to buy some ads. Okay. Great. Grandpa, I want to know if I have any Arkansas State Police Challenge coins. I've given them all the way. Every time I get one, I usually give it away, and I don't have access to them anymore. I guess you could go to the association and buy them, but I haven't.
Our church gave us these little books that basically take you through the process of
sharing the gospel,
mm-hmm. And he left it in our hotel room in Nashville. So hopefully, he does try to do that kind of stuff all the time. Really quick, we had 2 members join our Wumba 6 club. Michael Mason, I think he upgraded to it. I'm not sure. And then Chris, I am going to butcher your last name if I try it, so I'm gonna let him try it. That way, if it's butchered,
I can't read your handwriting.
You're such a liar. HAFL.
Halfling sleeve.
What?
Half sleeves.
Half sleeves. I think it's like.
Thank you, Myers Woodworks.
Halfling shed. Halfling sled.
Half sleeves.
Halfling
sleeve.
Halfling sled.
Halfling sled.
Halfkin. Is that a K?
Yeah,
I don't think that's
you're right. No, I told you couldn't read your writing.
That's right, really fast. So Wise Woodworks also joined our Rumble. Okay, I just saw that. Let me write him down. That is so funny. If he's still on here, I need to know.
So the goal with having the CNC guy on, because he knows his stuff on CNC, I wanted to get that on. Of course, I'm working on a CNC series video. It's not going to be the next video that comes out. I don't know when it's coming out. A few weeks from now, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to see, by getting that CNC, if I can make a viable run at selling things. And so that's still the goal. Right now, I've started on the CNC, and it is kicking my tail. The software, like he said, is a challenge for me to learn. I do okay with computers, but it just seems like it's a lot. And so I'm taking it slow, trying to learn it. And from there, I'm going to learn if I can make a go at this. I plan on having a CNC video about every 6 weeks. So for 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the thing. So I don't want it to take over the channel. I'm not going to have any. I don't plan on having any like straight up CNC project videos. I just want to be able to kind of document it and see if you can take a CNC, learn it, and start selling things. And so that's why I wanted to have Ben on tonight.
Really quick, I want to say thank you to all of you for all of your love and support on our post about Mo getting her job, getting her classroom. He was crying, and he got hurt, y'all, this weekend, so I told her to go ahead and bring him to us. He's not bad. Mo, you want to say thank you real quick? You don't have to get on camera if you want to say thank you.
Thank y'all.
Okay, he's wanting you now. So Coda got hurt while we were in Nashville, and he actually got hurt really bad, and we got the call while we were having breakfast with Paul Mood. He somehow slid trying to run down our front steps, which are concrete. And when he landed with these two front legs kind of underneath him, and it took all the skin off, and he bled like a stuck pig.
He had a tumble.
Yeah, and so he's been wanting his mama. He may be noisy, but we've only got a few minutes left. So thank y'all for giving the congrats to her. She's extremely excited, and she's ready for it. So we're excited to have her there. She's going to be a good little teacher. Mm-hmm. She's going to be short as the kids, but they're taller than me.
Robert Ketchum said, that's a lethal tail. He will pop you with that thing.
Yes, he will. When it hits a wall, it's really loud. Just open it for him. He's a bit of a mama's boy, and so when he got hurt and I wasn't with him, that was really hard for me. You can ask Paul. I was kind of freaking out when we were eating breakfast. It was... Mo said you gave her a stink eye.
Gave him a stink eye.
Mo's dog gives me a stink eye at night. She doesn't. When she gets sleepy, she wants to go to bed.
Super chat.
Thank you, PF. I love the little emoji things.
I don't see them on mine. It just says, watch, I'll put it on the screen. It says, pair character doing a classic mic drop. Because we're using a streaming software. Yeah.
He's dropping the mic.
On mine, it's a streaming software, so it comes through this. It doesn't show the Facebook
So
chat.
how do you get those little emoji things?
It's under the super chat stuff.
Oh, you gotta be super chat to do it. Well, dang, I'm not one of your super chatters. Monkey Poo Coffee gave you the stink eye. That's what Wise Woodwork said. Man, we had some good coffee in Nashville.
Yeah, if y'all have a chance to go to Nashville and visit that city, it was really cool. We went all around the city. We was around the Grand Ole Opry for a while. That mall right there, Opry Mills Mall, was packed. Oh, my goodness. But we did do an escape room.
Oh, it was fun. And we got out. We got out.
A minute and 58 seconds left, but we got out with a little help from the guy. And we also spent some time downtown, the Broadway area during the day. I heard at night, Mr. Paul told us not to be down there after 9, and we didn't stay in there past, 3-ish?
Okay, so I don't understand some of the stuff some of these new trends that are going on. That's not something I know we talk about on the show, so I won't go into all of it, but...
we saw some interesting things.
Yes.
Interesting, diverse crowd of people. It was interesting, but we had a good time, and we ate a lot of good food, and it was a good trip.
Reload and Shoot says CNC isn't that hard. There is a learning curve. So see, there's hope.
Yep. Yeah.
There's hope. Went from making a sign the first week and the second week, and now running kitchen and utility cabinets through. What?
Awesome.
That is awesome.
So that's my plan too, is just to take it slow and learn it.
Make me new cabinets.
I can't make you new cabinets. Mr. Reload and Shoot can, but I cannot. Robert Ketchum, you can. What's up?
You can make cabinets in that.
I don't know about no cabinets. You can send me an email 731woodworks@gmail.com. We'll talk about getting me a coin. I would appreciate a Coast Guard one because I don't have one.
Stephanie said those escape rooms are such fun, especially if you have some smart people with you.
Yeah, I was glad I had her with me.
So no, he did great in it. The last one we went to, we took all 3 kids with us. Youngest son didn't want to have anything to do with it. The older 2, they're very competitive, especially with each other. Yeah. Mackenzie was like the MVP of it. Even the guide that watches you while you're in it told her she was. We're going to another one in Destin. Yeah. But it's going to be
like a scary one.
It's going to be a horror one about dolls. And so But it's going to be us two and the oldest two kids that are going to it. So Mackenzie, this is where this is where Mo can really shine because she loves that kind of stuff. So Kenny Howe says is that who you answered a while ago?
Mm-mm.
He says that he can give you some CNC help.
Awesome. My main issue is just learning the software right now. So right now I'm not actually I haven't designed anything. I bought a few files on Etsy and I found some on the Shapeco forums, or they have a file, something that they, like a website they have files on. That's where I've made some actual little trays. I gave the first successful CNC project went to Paul Mood the other day when we had breakfast, but it's very similar to this, except for I made his out of canary wood and this one's out of quilted maple. But this is my camera catch-all tray, if you can't tell. But these are pretty neat little projects. They're really easy to do on the CNC. You just make sure they're clamped down very well. It's got 3 little pockets in it for different things, and as long as they're clamped down, it'll work fine. And you get your zero set on everything. But
Jeff Fergoso says, have you tried Fusion 2000? It's good.
I have not. So I've got, right now, I'm using Carbide Create Pro. Went ahead and bought that. But
Jimmy
Reload and Shoot, that would be
Tidwell
awesome.
says, I used to run a CNC that had 2 5x12 tables on it. It was
wow.
great.
That's a big one.
Huh. Reload and Shoot. 4 minutes to cut.
That's pretty cool.
Yours takes forever to cut.
Yeah, I'm low and slow.
Do you pick the speed?
No. Shapeco does. I have. Now, I was breaking the law the other day with it when I was cutting that one out, actually, and I bumped it up to 150% of what they suggested. You can do that in the settings and stuff, and it rocked right along. I kind of felt like if it wasn't binding up or splintering the wood or making any kind of crazy noise, it'd be all right. I'm for the dust collection on it, I'm just using a shop vac, the rigid shop vac. I haven't got the dust collection yet.
Dan Dixon says that he thinks we would enjoy Branson. We know a lot of people that have gone there. We've never gone. I think, have Dylan and Mo gone?
I think so.
I can't remember. We're going to Destin real soon, and I would really like to do another trip, just you and I again.
Yeah, let's go back to Nashville. I like Nashville.
We love Nashville. There's a place, I don't know the name of it, and if Paul's on here, I don't know if he knows the name of it, but it's across the street from, what's that hockey?
Reliance Arena, I think.
It's the hockey arena. It's an Italian restaurant that's across the street from it.
When's hockey season?
That was the best food ever.
Because I want to go to a hockey game now that I know where there's an arena within 6 hours.
Great Grandpa asked if you've looked at the Harbor Freight dust collector.
I haven't. I'm talking to Delta right now and trying to work something out with them on a dust collector from them. But I've heard the Harbor Freight dust collector is actually really good.
Wise says that they went to Branson for their honeymoon. He's just laying there. He just wants to be close
September
to us.
is when hockey season starts.
So see, that would work.
We go down September or October, and the weather will be cooling back off. And we can go.
Miss Cheryl, I got your email. I don't know if you got it or my response to it. I didn't see a different one. I just got that one. But I did send you my cell number if you want to message.
Hey, Jake, what's going on, man?
Graph, I think it is. Our day is going great. Thank you so much.
Does the CNC run off a USB interface, or do you need a controller card for it? Mine runs off of USB, and I just plug it into my Windows laptop. You can run it on this, but I don't want to take this out there. This is my work computer that I'm doing video editing on. I don't want to get dust down in there, so I take the older laptop out there and run it off of that.
I want to tell you really quick what somebody just said, and it just moved on me. Darn it, that happens a lot.
Yep, that's where we want to go. See the Predators.
Oh yeah. I'm not a hockey fan. But
I'm not either.
I think it would be interesting.
But I want to go see a hockey game.
Yeah, I do too. I think it would be.
It looks rough and it looks fun.
It does. So somebody was saying something about the haters.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. It was Stephanie Simmons. She said, every day I pray a prayer protection around both of you, Matt and Amy. Haters are always gonna hate, and together we will strengthen a shield around you full of love and success.
Thank
I
you.
thought that was so sweet. Thank you so much. And she also says that they love Mo. She loves Mo.
Awesome.
We do love Mo. Mo's a good kid. She's a little bit dramatic, but she's a good kid. Jimmy Tidwell's about 30 minutes from Nashville. You're lucky.
Thank you, Jason.
Not
Hope
sure.
that brisket turned out good.
Oh, smoked brisket. We ate takeout tonight, and it really sucked because it wasn't from any of the good places in Tennessee. The food was good, though. I shouldn't say that. The food was good. Michael says you go watch a live hockey game for the atmosphere. Thank you, Great Grandpa. What does it say on yours for his emoji thing?
What are you talking about? That one?
Yeah.
It gives a pair.
Super chat.
It's this pair character bowing down saying thank you.
I love it. That's fun. Y'all, he lost my car. We told the members
Yeah,
only.
so what happened was, let me tell the story so it gets told right. So what happens is,
God's watching you.
so what happens was,
Tell truth.
all right, so Monday morning, is that yesterday Monday? Yeah, Monday morning we get up, we go eat breakfast, and then we
Get lost several times.
No, we took a couple wrong exits. So we went and ate
didn't.
breakfast, and then we went back to Opera Mills area and went to the escape room, and then Madame Tussauds Wax Museum.
Thank you, Celia.
And then after that, we wanted to go eat lunch and then come home. So it was eating a late lunch about 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. It was about 1ish. And so we went back downtown where Broadway is. There's like a shopping center there. That's on the second level. It's like a giant food court that has like Princess Hot Chicken. Pretty good, by the way.
Yes.
And a couple other places in there, or a bunch of other places. So that's where we went and ate lunch. Well, when we went down in there, we parked the car at.
Who sent us to the parking garage?
So I just searched parking on Apple Maps. So there was my first mistake. It's their fault. So we parked the car at a Sheraton Motel parking garage. We're actually like Laz or something parking garage.
LAZ.
So it winds up being like, I don't know, a mile and a half from where we wanted to go.
It's not a mile.
It's a long. Well, it wound up being about 3 miles to get back to it. And so we parked there, and I marked it on my phone. I marked the location, right?
Because I told him when we parked the car, I said, mark this spot so we can get back.
And so I marked it as instructed. I followed instructions very well. We walked down and had a nice lunch. She bought what them things is?
Eclair.
An
The
eclair.
old eclair.
So we start going back to look for the car. Well, I'm following the phone. Well, she's telling me the whole time it's wrong.
Because
And
he was going
I don't believe her
in a
because I believe the
direction-
phone.
in the opposite direction of where we came from. He was taking us in a direction away from where we came from.
So I get irritated about it. And then she's irritated too about the whole situation.
I'm
And
hot.
then I snap about it, and it makes her mad. And then we wind up in this giant fight over where the car's parked. Well, she just takes off walking in the middle of downtown Nashville and leaves. And I can't let her walk off because, something bad happened to her. So I'm like following her behind her like a quarter mile because she walks real fast and I can't keep up. And I'm about half jogging. Anyway, she finds the car. And so I later find it, and she's just sitting in there waiting on me. And I guess she was just going to sit there till I found it. I don't know. So
You
anyway,
can track me. We track each other.
so we got in the car, like 2 of that 3 hours on the way home. We had some good discussions.
We had good discussion.
And everything was fine after that. But it was quite the experience, to say the least. If you're a man out there and you're parking in downtown Nashville, park close and remember where you parked. Solve all that. I was a butthole. I know I was a butthole. I apologize for being a butthole to her, but we was both irritated because it was massive thing. So it was a whole deal.
He says on the way to when we're walking after we park, he says, well, at least everything's downhill right now. And I'm like, man, that means everything's going to be uphill going back to the car. Well, he had us going in a direction that was not uphill. I mean,
We
come
walked
on.
school uphills both ways.
It's like, okay, something's wrong. We're still going downhill. We're not going in the right
Miss
direction.
Cheryl, that is absolutely correct.
Listen to
listen to your wife. Everything works out better. And control your emotions when things aren't going your way, and that'll work out better.
So Becca and Mo are having a conversation about you being extra.
I was a little extra yesterday.
He was a little extra, but you know what? We have the best time when we go do things like that together. Mm-hmm. We don't get to do that very often. Our kids are grown, but what y'all don't see really is that, and I guess you see it sometimes, but Coda's laying right here. It is never just he and I. It's always us with one of the dogs or one of the kids, or so. So it was nice to just go somewhere.
We had a really good weekend,
and so we plan on going. Y'all need to give us some ideas on somewhere to go, and I'd love to meet somebody again.
That was really cool to meet Mr. Paul. Awesome guy. We really enjoyed having
our Georgia Peach is here.
We'll be in Destin in the end of July, 1st of August. So if anybody lives down there and y'all want to hook up, we'll have lunch or something.
Yeah, we would love to meet people. Michelle says that they had an incident kind of like that at a concert. Ended up being the last ones there. This was awful because I was so ready to get back home to Coda. I knew he had been hurt. I was wanting to get back home to him. I was hot and full. I was really full. And I was walking all over Nashville. I was like, oh, man, come on, please. And then I stepped in gum because we were in the wrong area.
Yeah.
And that was his fault.
And I was told it was my fault.
That's right. I stepped in gum and it slung up backwards and stuck to my pants. And I was trying to fight the gum. He come around the corner and I'm standing on one leg fighting gum. It gets all over my hand, which is somebody else's slobber. It gets on my steering wheel of my car, embeds into the leather. I did not get that gum off my steering wheel for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Anyway. Stephanie Simmons says, Anna Marie Island, Florida. And you write that down. It says it's amazing. Right on the beach. You'll never forget it. And then Becca Mayberry says,
we gotta go.
Now that the conversation is led my way, Virginia has hockey and baseball and military and me and dog-friendly places.
It's got Becca.
I would love to see Virginia Beach.
He said yesterday when we were driving home, we were talking about you guys, and he said, if you and Becca ever got together, I'd probably never get you two apart. He said, I think y'all would just be best friends. Because we have good conversations. Me, you, and Mo, we could have the best time. Okay, Anna, what?
Anna Marie Allen.
Anna Maria Allen. Mm-hmm. Got that written down.
Ocean Isle, North Carolina.
Got it.
Charleston, South Carolina. We've talked about coming to Charleston multiple times.
We want to come
really
there.
Want to go to
Who said that? Charleston.
Miss Cheryl Taylor.
Cheryl. We want to come to Charleston so bad. I also want to go to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. That's a good one too. Uh-oh, are they all coming in?
Mm-hmm. This tail.
Hey, Toots, she's wanting you. So our dogs have kind of been stuck to us since we've been home. They're not.
They missed us.
They're not used to being away from us. And if you can't tell, Charlie's wanted her daddy the whole time.
Yep, she loved her daddy.
Say hi, Charlie. She wants her daddy. Look, y'all, she gets this excited over him all day long.
She's sweet, baby.
You can go ahead and let me out.
Yep.
San Diego USS Midway Museum. It's fantastic.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah,
we went to the ones in Mobile.
We
went to the ones in Mobile, and it was really cool. The Mobile, they got like an aircraft carrier, a submarine, different things there. That's really cool.
USS Midway Museum. We went to the Hall of Fame. Hold on, Mia. And
Kenny Chesney? No, I've never been told that.
No, I don't think we've ever heard that.
There's some MMA guy people say I look like because he's bald.
North Dakota, beautiful. I can't talk because of me. Beautiful scenery.
Yeah, North Dakota's supposed to be really cool.
Look at her. She's. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I know that we didn't do our 7:31, our normal
power tip.
So we will catch back up on that next week.
The interview went a little longer than...
we didn't want to cut them off.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut anybody off. And
Such a good guy.
Yep. awesome
And
guy.
he had so many great things to say. It was nice having him.
Just be sure to
with
check out
us.
his channel. Everything's linked in the description below to Ben Myers Woodshop. And so he was really gracious with his time, and we really appreciate him coming on.
Yeah. But really, guys, we really would love to see some of you. If you're ever interested in doing some type of meet and greet or something, just where we can all kind of get together and talk, man, that would be great.
Cameron, last question. Want to know where 3 main tools that I would recommend: miter saw, table saw, and a planer. If you got a table saw, you can get around not having a jointer.
Come here, Mia.
And I got a video coming out about that Thursday, so stay tuned.
Whew. So if y'all don't have a grand dog, don't get one. She's pretty great. She missed us. She's a pretty good one. She's just like a rat on acid most of the time, but she's a good one.
Don't talk trash about my child.
She's a good baby. Are you a good baby? All right. Well,
Yep.
Oh, the animal says Las Vegas. We do want to come to Las Vegas.
Mhm.
I also want to go to New York. I'd like to fly there. I'm scared of flying, but I'd like to. Hot Springs, North Carolina. We have a Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's beautiful
it's really
there.
nice.
Sports, Tampa Bay, Buccaneers, Lightning, and the Rays. That's what Stephanie said.
That'd be cool.
We want to go to an NFL game. We love going to baseball games. Baseball is a sport I love to watch. Green door forever.
Noel Urban, if you already have an air compressor,
Thank you, Danimal. He enjoys the special guest.
send
coming
me
out.
an email and I will send you a link to the ones I just bought that was recommended by Jonathan Katzposes. If you don't, then the Greycoats are good.
Is Destin far from Tampa?
Yes, so Tampa's probably, I don't know, a 16-hour drive from here, give or take.
Really?
And then it's like 9 hours to here to Destin.
We absolutely love going to Destin, but we love Nashville too. Nashville is probably one of our most favorite places in the whole world to go. So we think we're going to go back there again probably in October or so is what we were talking about. What's those awards that they're having? Dove Awards?
Dove
or
Awards,
something?
yeah.
We would like to do that, so.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And see you next Tuesday.
Sorry for the
Lord willing.
wild interruption of pups, but they've just been missing us, so.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Have a good night. God bless.